Joel Embiid has been ruled out again, but this time is not because of his foot sprain. It's because of his knee. And now that has people speculating like it's been his knee this entire time. But at this point, I don't know what the Sixers should do on the season, but we're going to talk about the realistic options that they have and the realistic possibilities and ways they should go to close out this season. And I guess like the future of Sixers basketball. So without further ado, here's the intro. What's going on, Cliffhangers? We are back with another video. We are still on the road to 5,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. So make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. It takes 1 second. Also become a part of Noti Gang. Hit that bell notification down below so you never miss a video. Get me to 100 likes on this video. Join the Discord, and the link is in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so my voice is a little bit gone because obviously the Birds won there in the NFC Championship game. So go Birds. But unfortunately, the Sixers have me depressed. Well, they don't have me depressed because I got the Birds, but we got to talk about the Sixers and what's going on over there. As far as Joel Embiid, he was ruled out 7 to 10 days. This was a couple of days ago, but he was ruled out 7 to 10 days, or he will be reevaluated in 7 to 10 days because his knee experienced more swelling, which doesn't make sense because we now don't have an injury designation on his foot sprain, which is like what? So his foot isn't sprained anymore? What's really going on? So it has people speculating like the foot sprain was just like a cover up to his knee actually being injured again and swole. Do I say swole? How do I say his knee swelling up again? I'm gonna just use that, but his knee swelling up again and using that and using the foot sprain as a cover up. And it's just confusing to all fans because if he's, as you know, if you've been a Sixers fan throughout the Joel Embiid era, you understand like this is just what he does. He doesn't like his injuries directly being reported, even going back to the surgery last season when they called it a procedure and not like a complete surgery. He's like very private with his injuries, but it's like we need to know if you're hurt. So we have like a realistic timetable because with the foot sprain, it was more of, okay, it's day to day. He'll be back next game. But it just continued to go where he just didn't come back. And now you're in your head like, what actually happened? And now we have the truth to where his knee just swells. I cannot get this word. His knee is just swelling up again. And if that's the case, if this is what we're going to have to go through, I know that the Sixers already talked about it in the offseason about like this is something that they knew was going to happen. His knee was going to be swelling up periodically throughout the year. And it's just a thing of them managing it fine. Like I get it. But I know they didn't expect him to miss this many games this early. And that's the initial problem that I have with all of this is like the reporting, him missing so many games. If his knee is going to continue to be this kind of issue, and I've talked about it before, then the Sixers need to seriously go into the offseason and decide what they want to do with Joel Embiid. And I'm going to talk about that like a little bit more with some realistic options and what I think that they should do moving forward. Now, I've always been in the camp of, all right, well, this season been in the camp of, okay, he's an aging superstar, 30 years old, 7'2". He has a lot of body weight, like he has to carry around on his knees. Like, this is the time where he's going to start to be on the decline. So in the offseason, you have to look into trading him. That's just a fan perspective. Like you trade him, you trade Paul George, you get off the contract, you start over, right? That's just the fan perspective. But the realistic perspective is they signed him to a 3-year extension. He'll be with the Sixers through 2029. Paul George is on a 4-year max deal for $212. It's going to be really hard for them to get off of a Joel Embiid and Paul George contract. Also, what team will want to take on Joel Embiid with that contract and with the injury problems? Now, I know a team might reach on him. Like they say, all right, well, if you're like the Grizzlies or something, like you're close to contention and you're like, all right, we can just wait for Embiid to get healthy and like we don't exactly need him, but if we can go get like a superstar talent like that and just give away a few picks, we could do something. But the main thing with Joel is the contract. So I don't think any team's going to be able to actually trade for him in the offseason unless it's for like dirt cheap or something like that, and the Sixers just move off of him, which wouldn't be ideal. But in my opinion, the best option right now, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like it, but it is to tank. Right now, the Sixers are sitting at what? 15-25 or like 15-26 or something. Like the season's essentially over. You still could try to make a push to get into that play-in spot, but then like, what's the point? Because then you're going to have to match up versus Boston or Cleveland in that first round. That's just something that you don't want to do, especially with an injured Joel Embiid going into the playoffs again. So my proposition is you tank, you rest Embiid, you sit him out the entire year. Sit him out the entire year, get him fully healthy, or what you think can be fully healthy for next season, and then you just go all in. You make a run for it. You sit Paul George. You try to find spot minutes or spot games for Tyrese Maxey to also sit to secure the tank. And then going into the trade deadline, which is coming up on February 6th, maybe you try to talk to OKC and see like, all right, what do you guys want in order to take the protections off of the pick? That way the Sixers pick is unprotected. They have it back. But honestly, if they get top 6, that's when they can keep it. Honestly, if they're bad enough, I don't think they're going to be bad enough to be like worse than like the Wizards or some of the other tanking teams. But if you're able to say in like that top like 20% of keeping that pick, I don't think you necessarily have to talk to OKC, but that would be the best option. Go talk to OKC, see if you can get the protections off of that pick, and then you go forward, moving there. You tank, you see if you can go get maybe a young star in this great draft class. I know a lot of people are talking about like Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaeger Denham, like them. But there's a lot of young talent that you can get to pair that'll be actually that could instantly help with this team going forward into next season. You still have to remember you have Jared McCain who will be back next season as well. So it's all immediate impact guys that will be able to help you on a championship run as long as Joel Embiid is fully healthy. I do think that this is the best option that the Sixers have going forward. Maybe trade some of the older guys at the deadline as well. Like try to get some picks back, try to get some assets that are going to help, get some young players that are going to help this team next season, and then make your full push and then actually try to go for a championship and win a championship, and just pray that Joel Embiid can stay healthy and he's 100% healthy going into next season, as opposed to this season where you could tell he just wasn't 100% healthy. So I think you just shut him down. You ride with whatever this season is. You try to get some picks back. You try to get OKC to come off the protections for that pick. Trade, maybe it's unfortunate, but like trade Gershon Yabusele. Like you might have to trade Kelly Oubre. I don't know. But you gotta like look toward the future a little bit while also trying to say, all right, well, we do still have Paul George, Joel Embiid under contract. We got to try to make some type of push for it next season. I think that's the most realistic option that they're going to have. You still have Tyrese Maxey. And then if it doesn't work out, then you like, all right, we could just move Joel for cheap, get off the Paul George contract next season. Now we still have some young players that we can build off of moving forward for the next era of Sixers basketball. Like we're going to have Tyrese Maxey. We're going to have Jared McCain. We're going to have that new rookie that we draft. We're going to have some other young players. Then you can look toward the future, the new stadium. By that time, the new stadium is built. You should have a team that is able to compete for the playoffs or compete in some capacity to bring in new fans for a new era of Sixers basketball, give people some new hope, and just like move forward that way. But I think that is the realistic option. Like you have to just watch this season, because if you stay with this season of, all right, we're going to still try to win, and you stay in like that middle of the pack, it takes you out of like a good draft pick. And it's like you're just this middle of the pack team that really is never going to win a championship. You have aspirations, but you're just like, like you're never going to win a championship, but you're always just in there like fake, like kind of where like the Hawks are, or like not even the Magic, but yeah, like the best example is like the Hawks. You don't want to end up like a team like that, always the 5th, 6th seed trying to fight, and then like push for a championship that you know is never going to happen because you just don't have the weapons or the firepower or the star power. So like, forget it. Watch this season, going into next season, try to get Joel Embiid fully healthy, Paul George fully healthy, Tyrese Maxey. You got Jared McCain coming back. Get that young star in the draft, maybe with a very high draft pick. You move forward that way. And if it doesn't work out next season, then you're like, all right, we just got to rebuild. We got to blow it up at all costs to get some younger, new talent in here. But let me know what y'all think the Sixers should do. Do you think that their season is cooked this season? Do you think they should move into next season still with Joel Embiid, or should they trade him? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll holla at y'all.